Manifest word for people means that, okay, whatever they desire, they should get. That's manifestation, right? Yes, you have the freedom of choice to dream and manifest what you want, but not always what you manifest is aligned to your life path.
We've all seen the movie The Secret, or the good old Om Shanti Om, which left us all with a lot of intrigue about how this happens. All good, and probably it works as well. But I'm sure there's a process to that.
Everything maybe will fall in place for you to receive that, but if you are not ready, you have your own challenges within your subconscious or conscious way you are thinking, then it will not work. Even you see the language the astrologers use is, आपको योग है, ये साल इस चीज का योग है, but वो चीज क्यों नहीं हो रही है? Because maybe you are not ready for it.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Business Networking with Vipul Bondal on Weekly Talks. So I have a very special guest. She's been a friend for many, many years now, and she is into something fascinating. That's the reason I have her on the show here today. So meet Bhairavi Mehta. Bhairavi is into reconnective healing. So I'll read out her bio for you, so you have a little idea of what she does. So her bio reads as follows. Bhairavi Tushar Mehta is a spiritual wellness and life skills mentor, international instructor of reconnective healing, foundational and reconnection certified practitioner. Academically, she is an environmental engineer, and she has been in alternative healing and wellness since 2007. She has studied many healing modalities like chakra healing, integrated healing, theta healing, intuitive anatomy, foreign energy dynamics, hypnotherapy, and many more. I don't think we're going to be able to cover all of this today, so we'll just stick to a few things, and then we'll invite her again to talk about some of those other things. So since 2010, once she explored the reconnective healing frequencies, she has seen miraculous results. She is also an international instructor on Dr. Eric Pearl's team, who is the founder of the reconnective healing system. Academically, she is she's an environmental engineer, and in her own practice, she has witnessed healings in cancer, coma, epilepsy, migraine, spinal disorders, learning disabilities, anxiety, panic attack, depression, and many more. So that's quite a fantastic list of things that are, actually not easy, and therefore this is going to be a fascinating conversation. So welcome, Bhairavi.
Thank you, Vipul, and thank you for introducing me to your audience. Thank you so much.
So you began as an environmental engineer, studied for it, and I guess you also worked for a little while, and then you are into something totally different. So can you walk us through your journey? What prompted this? Why are you in this business?
So yeah, I'm an environmental engineer, and engineers are all science. Like they can only think with a very analytical brain. Yeah, I studied environmental engineering. I worked for quite some time in designing prestel tanks for aviation and things related to engineering. But I got married early, and as life moved on, there came a time when my husband had very high uric acid, which resulted into gout. So if people know this disease, it gives immense pain. The pain is like if the gout attack is at a certain joint, if you even put a feather there, the person is going to shriek, like the scream. It's so painful. So with his gout, we kept trying a lot of things in terms of doctors and naturopathy and acupressure and all sorts of things. I wouldn't say they didn't work everything that what they had supposed to do, but it just didn't go out of our life. It was still there. And simultaneously during that time, we had some rituals in our family. And I ended up channeling some energy. And that's when the quest began, that how does this happen? Why me? What is it? Like, because you're science, you can't understand this part of the world. So that quest made me go for a lot of workshops, where I kept studying, and that led to this whole list of workshops that I've done and certificates I have. And that's where the journey began, Vipul. Frankly, that's where it all started.
Okay. And finally, now you've settled into doing reconnective healing.
Yeah, so when it comes to healing, I do reconnective healing because it has its own essence. But along with that, there are things where I counsel, I guide, I do readings. I use a lot of my intuition because I'm gifted with intuitive.
Intuition, yes.
Yeah, I'm gifted with intuition, some psychic, psychic energy. So that's what I use quite a lot, even to guide, counsel, and handhold people.
Okay, so intuition and psychic energy is something that I want to kind of explore today, and that also is a little bit about. I mean, the theme for today is how to manifest,
Yeah.
and look at that side of things. So to people who are engineers and who are so-called logical brain people, they would think this is very woo, something that you can't understand, examine, test, and so on. So, and I'm sure a lot of such people are going to be also watching this today. So, can you, for the benefit of such people, and I'm probably one of those people, I mean, partly. So, can you explain what it means? What is manifestation? How does this happen? Because, we are all logical people. We understand, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. But if 1 plus 1 is equal to 11, you'll need to explain it to me. So,
Yeah, sure. So, people have just heard the manifest word for people means that, okay, whatever they desire, they should get. That's manifestation, right?
right.
So, in simple layman language, or what people think is, okay, I want to manifest this job, or I want to manifest this car, or I want to manifest this house.
Yeah.
So, I always feel that, yes, you have the freedom of choice to dream and manifest what you want, but not always what you manifest is aligned to your life path.
Okay.
Okay. I may manifest a very expensive, maybe I may manifest a Rolls Royce, say, okay, I'll get it. It comes my way, but I don't have a place to park it. I don't have fuel to run it. I
Yeah.
don't know how to drive a car, or I can't maintain it. I mean, I won't be able to sustain that car.
Right.
Maybe I don't have that kind of finances. Maybe I will manifest it. I might get it in a lucky draw and I'll have to sell it to pay my finances. So these manifestations don't sustain in your life.
Okay.
When I talk of manifestation, it's something that brings you happiness, that brings you joy, that makes you feel you are living to your fullest potential. And yet, you are enjoying every bit of it with a lot of balance, a lot of ease and grace. There is no stress or struggle. So that's the actual manifestation when I talk of manifestation.
Okay. So, do you also then help in creating this alignment? Because it's like, and you gave a superb example. I mean, you may have a Rolls Royce, but imagine driving Rolls Royce on the Mumbai roads where there you don't get 100 meters, of a straight road,
Clear.
or you can't drive
Yeah.
without having to brake every 3 minutes. I mean, every 3 seconds. So, what is the point? I mean, so do you help in creating this alignment? Do you help in creating the road for this Rolls Royce to happen? Or do you make sure you get the right kind of car for the road that exists? I mean, how does
Exactly. Now you're getting it. You should manifest the
right
car
brain?
if you want the car,
They are all left brain people.
but the right kind of car, the car which is fancy, the car which is which is going to be safe on your roads, which has you afford a parking and everything. So the idea is to manifest the right car, right? And that's what I do. I handhold people to help them live that dream, help them manifest that whatever they want, be aligned to their path and enjoy it throughout life, not something momentarily that comes and it's taken away from you, right? So that is where I handhold people. I do mentor, as I say, life skills mentor. I do mentor them, guide, counsel, use different maybe healing or whatever whatever I'm doing, I bring it together and help them reach that potential.
Okay. So helping reach the potential in the right sort of way so that it's in alignment with
Exactly.
what
Exactly.
what your life is. Okay. And that to you is manifestation. I mean, that's what you meant by manifestation.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, fine. So, but I'm sure there's a process to this. I mean, I'm sure this follows a process, right? I mean, we've all seen the movie The Secret, or the good old Om Shanti Om, which
Yeah.
left us all with a lot of intrigue about how this happens. किसी चीज को शिद्दत से चाहो और कायनात will provide it to you, kind of thing. All good, and probably it works as well. But I'm saying, I'm sure there's a process to that. So, can you explain what that process is?
So Vipul, as you said, we say किसी चीज को शिद्दत से चाहो तो सारी कायनात आपको उससे मिलाने में जुड़ जाएगी, right? You say in English, ask and you shall receive. Rhonda Bryan has beautifully put a lot of things in the book where she says, okay, you need to visualize, you need to feel, you need to do this. But what happens is everything maybe will fall in place for you to receive that. But if you are not ready, okay,
Right.
you have your own challenges within your subconscious or conscious way you are thinking, then it will not work. Even you see the language the astrologers use is, आपको योग है, ये साल इस चीज का योग है,
Yeah.
but वो चीज क्यों नहीं हो रही है? Because maybe you are not ready for it. So as you are rightly asking, I usually first start with making a person accept where they are. Okay, a person might sometimes be in denial, okay, or the person might be in panic or might be very overwhelmed with the situation that they are in.
Right.
So say I don't have, I have a very basic financial income, but I'm still wanting to manifest a house and a this and this. First, I have to accept that, okay, where I am, I'm not at a place to manifest that. First, I have to accept that.
Correct.
Okay, without accepting, it's like Mungeri Lal ke Haseen Sapne. You are just dreaming.
True.
So the first step is to accept. If somebody is in a health challenge, they might be in panic, they might be in stress. Why me? मेरे साथ क्यों हुआ? ये वो, 7:30 ये मेरा कर्मा खराब है. They might be thinking anything.
Correct.
So when I come into the picture, I first make them accept it, that keep everything aside, accept it that this is where you are. That's the first step.
Right.
So a lot of things get sorted when you accept.
Right.
If you are in denial, you are never going to get out of it. If you are panicking, you will also lose the energy from where it is and you will never rise above. So both the things are not good, accept. And then you go to figure out what is the solution. What should you do? Okay. What's the right action you need to take? Once you know the action, say if it's relationship, you want to sit and confront, you want to make efforts to, approach, or if it's finances, you want to see where you're going wrong and then find out ways to make it better. Maybe you need to do a small course again to step up in your job. Or if it's health, you need to get into a better sleeping habit or better eating habit, or you need to follow the advice of your doctors, whatever it is, then it's about the solution. Then it's about taking action on what is going to help you get better.
Right.
Yeah, that's the second step. Then the third step is being consistent in what you do.
Okay.
Okay. So many a times people have very volatile energy. वो थोड़ा time करते फिर छोड़ देते. Okay.
Correct.
थोड़ा time करते, then they feel it's not working. So while you are consistent, it's very important to be positive also. You have to be very positive that it will take its own time. अगर आपको डैमेज होने में 10 साल लगा है, वो 10 दिन में रिपेयर नहीं होगा. Okay, if you have had a very bad, unhealthy lifestyle, say for 7 years, you sleep at random hours, you eat at random hours, and you get sick. Now you've got ulcers in your stomach, and for 1 week you start eating good food, the ulcers will not go. So you have to have that consistency with positivity and patience, that you have to keep doing. And when everything aligns, okay, your acceptance, your grit to be consistent to resolve it, and your positive attitude then gives you results. And in this duration, all you can do in terms of spiritually manifesting is visualizing your better self, feeling that you're already better. Okay, the typical manifestation which says you have to visualize, you have to feel as if you have received it. During this whole process, that you continuously do, but you need to do these steps. Only doing that will not make you healthy.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. Yeah.
Right. So
So that's the 5-step process that.
Yeah, yeah. And then you achieve and you celebrate and you are in that happy space. And beyond doing all of this, if nothing works, then those are very deep, primitive, subconscious fears. And that's a whole different story. Because as human being we operate out of two major fears. One is fear of loneliness. We are social animals, like, so we need people, we need crowd. When you say that, when you talk of sannyasis and all, they just detach and go away, and because they are going away from that social life. But a normal human is always scared. What if my friends leave me and go? What if my family? So that fear of loneliness and fear of falling are the two major fears we operate out of. So if all ये सब करके भी नहीं हो रहा है, then either of ये fear है, and this fears indirectly manifest as fear of success, fear of authority, fear of power, fear of love, because people get scared. What if I don't have it one day? So
Right.
then ये सब नहीं हुआ तो वो कुछ अलग ही है, and those are those typical fears that you have to deal with, and then again realign yourself to what you want.
So, I mean, quick question. So, I mean, you obviously know that there are these fears which can prevent somebody from manifesting or, being able to achieve what they started out with. So, do you, in your role, consulting with people, or, when you work with somebody, do you actually try and examine those and try and help them get over them, or
Yeah,
or
yeah.
or do you typically wait and see how it is going? I mean, how does that process work?
So as I said, I do a lot of intuitive guidance. I do a lot of intuitive reading. So anyways, if I start with anybody, if they want to manifest a healthy lifestyle or deal with this problem, that anything it is, I always first start with an intuitive reading session.
Okay.
That session gives me an entire, it's like your pura scan aa jata hai, and then you exactly know what you need to do with that person, from which angle you have to start working. See, ideally, Vipul, anything that you want in life is about fine tuning into that frequency.
Correct.
So, abhi radio channels hai jo tick 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 ho jate. There was a time you have to you have to work with that knob.
Right.
हाँ, so तुम ऐसे करोगे. At one point, it will catch the frequency and you can hear the songs.
Yeah.
So it is like that. When you align yourself with that right frequency, then everything falls in place.
Correct. Correct. Oh, okay. So understood. So that's the process of going about it, and you kind of figure out where that radio is or where that person is in terms of.
Yeah, so aligning them to that frequency is where I come in picture, and I help them with various things that I do, and I see to it that at the end of the whole process, they are in a happy place.
Okay. So, and that's where I guess some of the other things that you've done also is useful, because there is some. Okay, so I was wondering why you've done so many of these things, and now I guess it helps you because you are able to give a better solution to the people you work with.
See, ideally, I believe that anything temporary is not what you want, right? You want things that you sustain through life.
Of course, yeah.
So, if you work it in the right way, you will get everything that you can sustain, and you can live with it with ease and grace. I believe in this word. So when you can live with it with ease and grace is the right kind of manifestation.
So I'm sure over the journey that you had, so now you've got almost close to about 18 years
Yeah.
of the journey. I mean, give or take a year or two here and there. But so if you can just walk us through some of your favorite examples or case studies, and if you can give, let's say, a couple of different ones, maybe one related to money, one related to relationships, third related to health or something like that. And you just give us a flavor of how it happens. You don't
Okay.
need to name the people. That's okay.
Yeah, of course. We don't do that. We
No,
just use it as a case study. We don't talk about the person or location or anything.
That's fine.
Yeah, so looking at health, nowadays people are very stressed, and there is too much that even young kids go through, right? So I'll share with you a couple of kids examples, like kids as in I'm meaning this teens or, young adults. I'm not talking of really small kids.
Right.
So my very first start of my career client was a mother contacted me. Her 25-year-old boy was thrown out of a certain country because of some kind of substance abuse.
Oh,
Okay. And he was put in a rehab somewhere in the south of our country. And the parents were not allowed to meet him because he would got very aggressive if the parents go and meet him. Now, this is a case where it was not about counseling, manifesting, nothing. This was with pure healing. Within a session or two, the parents were allowed to talk. The mother got back to me that, oh, I talked to him after 6 months, and I felt so good. So this is very pure, that the healing that I do, reconnective healing. And after 3 sessions we did, and I didn't know anything. Then they didn't get back. Once she got to talk to him, she was very happy. Then she never got back to me. But just after COVID, I think after 2020, one of the times she messaged me saying, I want to share with you the biggest joy of my life. And she shared the picture of a grandchild.
oh wow.
That
Okay.
boy is married and he has a son. And she shared that picture saying that I could not stop but think of you, and I'm sending this. So this is a pure healing case because we couldn't work with the boy. We couldn't talk with him. There was nothing we could do. Okay. But at the same time, I'm talking of another person where this is a young teenage girl, okay, with some deformity and couldn't walk properly. So there was a lot of rejection and shame from the school, less confidence. Because of that less confidence and rejection, and not friends enough, frustration, not being able to study, not being able to focus, feeling, that I'm not good enough. So a lot of things were there. And when I started working with her, it was for her to first accept, okay, ye hai, we can't do anything about it.
Right.
Okay, keep this aside and see where you are good. So that's how the journey started with that particular child. And today, she has finished her MBA from an international college. She traveled
Wow.
abroad to do it. And she's right on the verge to start her own business.
That,
And till date, if anything goes wrong, she calls, Auntie, I need this suggestion. Auntie, I need this. And that's the beauty of how you can help these kids, right?
right.
So this has happened even in businesses. Many times people get in touch, something or the other is blocked. Either they have no clarity, either the deal is not cracking. And when I work with them, I show them where that energy stands. Where their mindset stands to crack that deal. Sometimes they only don't believe that they'll be able to deliver that much.
Mhm.
So when we change their mindset, that deal cracks. Okay. There are
Wow.
times they want to do something, but they don't have an idea where to start from.
Mm.
So then working on this, it's also about attracting the right opportunity, attracting the right people, attracting the right resources. So that's also what I work with them.
So again, say let's say a typical process. I mean, I'm sure it will vary from person to person, but how many sessions does one have to indulge, uh, in this? So let's say before the uh, manifestation of something happens. Let's say the example of the business that you gave. Uh, what would be the number of sessions that, let's say the business owner would have had to take with you to be able to, you know, get around firstly identifying the problem, then working on the solution, and then, you know, making sure that he works through that and then is able to find the result. So typically time and, sessions, how much does that happen?
Okay. So as I said, I usually start with the reading because you may come saying, I have this problem, but it could be something else.
Correct.
Believe me, so many times people come saying, "Arey ye hai," but wo nahi hota hai. When I do a reading, it's something else. The core is somewhere else.
Okay.
It's like, it's an iceberg, tip of the iceberg, but niche kuch aur hi hai. So that's where my reading is very important for me. So now usually I start with the reading.
Right.
Okay. Once I get the reading, I get to know what is it just healing that I have to do for the person? Is it that they need some kind of counseling and guidance? Is it something else? So then that's how I can start working. But when they come particularly, I would say anywhere between 3 to 5 sessions, and then we ask them to wait and watch. I just ask them to wait and watch.
Okay.
Usually things start falling in place, and then they reach out to me as and when again something happens, then they just reach out to me for guidance or maybe one healing in a while. That's where they reach out.
So 3 to 5 sessions, let's say over a period of what, 3 to 6 months?
No, it's not 3 to 6 months. So at a given point of time means I'm saying actually within a month.
Within a month, 3 to 6. Okay. Okay, so it's
And
fairly
then you wait and watch because you can't keep long gap after you have made some adjustment. Then you make a gap, then again that goes for a toss.
right. Understood. Yeah, and then of course it's all up to the individual also.
Yeah.
Can't be hand holding through the process. So, I mean, typically, other than of course fears which you said, which are intrinsic, basic fears of falling and basic fears of being lonely, are there other roadblocks that you've encountered when you work with people, and that prevent people from reaching their full potential?
So as I said, these fears keep them really away from it. That's mostly there are a lot of fears that keep you away from your full potential. And sometimes it's just that the way you have been, the event and experience you have had in life,
Right.
that can put you back. So if you have had rejection, resentments, and regrets, and always had a life like that, how much ever potential is there in you, it will keep you back. Then that's the time you have to overcome and get them, really pull them out of all of that and show them, oh man, you belong here.
Okay, so it's again, you taking care of the environment
Yeah.
that you're working on, that. Okay, so let's come to the crux of why we are chatting today. I mean, the whole discussion is on business networking.
Yes.
So, you are a black belt. I mean, if there are degrees of black belt, you're probably up there in terms of the black belt degree, right? So, what does business networking mean to you, Bhairavi?
Yeah, I ideally believe that business networking is where you actually go for those meaningful connections, right? Connections to bahut hai. We are connected to so many people. Even a hi, hello in the lift with a neighbor, or somebody who's passing by at the same time when you go to the market, or there could be a lot of connections where you just know people. But when you say business networking, it's connections with the right kind of people, those people who matter, those who value, and somewhere I also feel those who inspire you to always step up in what you are doing, right? So that happens only when you see those like-minded people. It doesn't happen everywhere where you go just partying or saying hi, hello. It doesn't happen there.
And how does this work for you? I mean, how do you go about your business network? I know you're part. I mean, just to let everyone else know, Bhairavi and I are both part of BNI, and Bhairavi is of course from another chapter. And both of us, I mean, I was earlier part of the regional team where Bhairavi still is there. So, uh, you know, there is a lot of commonalities there in terms of, and it's easy to understand when she says this. So, but for the benefit of people who joined on this community, so if you can tell us, how does that work for you? That would be very helpful.
So ideally, if I tell you, people, when I joined in 2014. That's when I joined BNI, right?
Right.
So that time I was only in groups where there are healers. Okay. So all my WhatsApp group are healers, all my meetups are healers, everywhere there are only healers. So I was wondering, I mean, there's life outside healers also, right? There's healer ki siva bhi life mein log hai, professions hai. I kept wondering, I want to go and talk about my work to people who are from different backgrounds. How much will I talk to healers the same language?
Yeah.
So I started going out, like I started to go to clubs, this maybe Rotary or this, and the women something, and somebody invited me to BNI. Okay.
Okay.
That's the time I realized, okay, there is a lot of potential when you actually go out and meet different people from different walks of life. You understand what's going on, what are the industries. You are inspired by each other's stories, and I just love the whole concept, and that's how I joined. But believe me, the way it has helped me is that sometimes I didn't think where else I could apply my knowledge. And people from BNI, different walks, have helped me build up new verticals. Like I work for lands, offices, spaces also, and that's come through BNI. That's one of the member is like, I have a farm and this has happened, that has happened. Why don't you help? I said, I have never worked on lands. He said, soch ke to bata. And I'm like, okay, why not? And I did, and it worked. So there's a whole new vertical that opened up for working for spaces, right? So that's how there is lots that came through. And I think you got the answer, that's how it has helped me. I mean, I never knew how a healer can present via PPT, man. पहली बार बनाना था, I'm like, हे भगवान, ये तो हम क्या करें? We can do it, we can show, we can work with hands, we can talk, but ये PPT में कैसे दिखाएंगे? अभी I become pro. So lots that I've learned through it, and I'm thankful, because when I came to Mumbai, I had no one, practically no one. My entire family is from Gujarat, so I didn't know anything, and now I have a whole community of people. And look at you, like 5 years down the line, I remember 5 years back, COVID mein Zoom pe we were doing one training together. Do you remember?
Yeah, yeah.
We were all online and we had to do a training, and we were working on the content because we were in the same room. Okay, we pull तुम क्या बोलोगे, what I'll say. And here we are again after 5 years. So that's what it is.
So, funny incident. So you mentioned that you had to make a PPT in present. And, I was one of those who could present only with a PPT. And at the time that I joined BNI, they said no using PowerPoint. जो भी बोलना है without PowerPoint बोलना है. I said, how can I present my business without PowerPoint? So yeah, so
We learn both ways, right?
learn both. True,
Yeah.
true.
So
And how's been your experience of being in the regional team? Because there you meet the leaders, and so how has that helped you grow as a person? If you can give us some inputs on how that has helped you.
see, being on the regional team has brought a lot of accountability. Because being on a regional team, you are actually guiding a whole chapter. These people of various businesses are looking forward to how you guide them, how you guide their chapter to perform. So it's brought a lot of accountability and a sense of onus that I am responsible for how they function.
Right.
So that is something that has really that is really inside now, of taking onus and accountability for what I'm doing with the chapters I support. And at the same time, I would also see it teaches a lot of people management, right? So people from various walks of life, various psychologies, various way of communicating, various way of understanding the communication. And that's also helped me really grow in my own profession, because I know every time I'm doing that, I'm getting better with how even I talk to my clients or how I project my work. So that's been a fabulous experience overall. And again, you have your own tribe there, right? There are so many people on regional team. They connect at a different level.
Absolutely. So, let's say if some young person or even a not so young person, let's say, comes to you and says, you are this big shot in BNI. Do you think I should do business networking? Or, I should get into business, and, then obviously I need to grow with business networking. What would be your advice to them?
I would say I've seen many. In fact, I'm seeing many this new generation kids handling the family business now stepping up to grow their business through business networking. Right? How much, see, I always feel, how much will you rely on conventional way? Because पहले एक जमाना था, हम फोन ऐसे ट्रिंग ट्रिंग करके लगाते. Now we just do this and we call. So when everything is advancing so much, why not the way you do business?
Right.
Right? Why you want to waste time in घुमाविंग एक number when you can just do it at one tap? So I mean, that's what
a
it is.
brilliant analogy. Brilliant way of explaining how the traditional business was
Yeah.
working.
एक बिजनेस करो, फिर रेफरल मिलेगा, फिर वो चक्कर घूमेगा. Why you're doing it? Just come and do one pitch and you have 10 people looking for your service.
We've come to that point where I have to thank you for your time, Bhairavi. Thank you very much. You kind of opened up the whole world of manifestation, how it works, and how you support this whole process. And you actually beautifully broke it down into what it means to manifest. Obviously, it also means that when something doesn't work out, for example, a lot of times you'll hear about manifestation when it doesn't work out, and you know exactly why it doesn't work out. So either the alignment was not right, or it was like a Rolls Royce on the streets of Mumbai, right? I mean, or it was the other way around. I mean, your ambition was low, whereas your potential was higher. So maybe that's why. So thank you for telling us that and how to go about it. I wish you all the very best. What I can do is, if you can I'll put your email ID and your. Would you prefer your email ID to be put on the community so that in case somebody wants to get
It
in
would
touch?
be great. It would be great.
So
Some
if you
way
can,
they can connect with me,
if you
right?
can say your email ID, you know, while we are recording it, and I'll of course put it onto the group as well. So if you can give us your email ID, Bhairavi, that'd be great.
Yeah, it is connectwithbhairavi@gmail.com.
Connect with Bhairavi at
Yeah.
gmail.com. So that's where you can be reached if somebody wants to get in touch with you. And in her profile, she mentions that she does a half an hour session, so where you can get a little bit of a feel of what Bhairavi does. So please connect with Bhairavi at gmail.com and book a session with her, and you can manifest anything.
Yeah, anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Vipul. And thank you, Thinkly, for having me here. Thank you so much.